you hungry people. Today we're going to be making squash soup. Squash soup. Squash soup. We're going to be using a microplane zester grater and our immersion blender. For today's ingredients, we have squash that was made this last fall that we had grown in our garden. I've got some chicken broth, homemade chicken broth. I'm going to be adding some sweet potatoes. These are already peeled. We're going to chop those up and get them all nice and soft. About a medium size to a large onion. I am going to put in an apple for something different. 1 carrot, rather big. Some celery. Butter to soften or saute our vegetables in. When we get that all together, we'll be adding our spices here. I've got some nutmeg, brown sugar, crushed red pepper, a little bit of chili powder, pepper, salt, and some heavy whipping cream. There's about, I think it's a cup and 2/3, almost 2 cups, give or take. Okay, we've got our vegetables all cut up. And for the celery, I cut that up rather small because it's going to be fibrous and we want that to break up really good once it's softened. I did not add the greens, the top for the celery. I am going to put them in my bag of vegetable scraps. I've got some potato peels, or actually sweet potato peels, onion skins, and some celery. And that is going to make an awesome broth. Okay, we're going to take the butter and we're going to start getting the pan nice and hot. Get that all melted. I got about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter here. And I'm going to start with my carrots because I want them to soften up first. Okay, we'll get those going. Then I'm going to get my water boiling so I can get the sweet potatoes nice and soft. So I've started the water. We'll just add those in quick. And don't worry, if you don't have sweet potatoes, you don't even need to add those to your soup. And I'm just going to cover these to give them a head start, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Alright, the carrots are getting pretty soft, so we're going to add our celery and the onion. Get that nice and tender. And the sweet potatoes are boiling, so that's great. I could have put the carrots in with the sweet potatoes, but I opted not to. But just know you have that choice. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to add the apple in here and get that all nice and soft. The sweet potatoes are almost ready. Alright, we're going to let this simmer a little bit longer. The celery is not quite ready, but you can see the apple and the onion and the carrots are really nice looking. We are going to turn off the heat for the sweet potatoes, and I'm going to drain the water out of the sweet potatoes. And I'm going to keep the water. And the reason I'm going to do that is I will be using the liquid to make some vegetable broth later this week. So I'll be using this for vegetable broth. I could have added it to my chicken broth that I'm cooking up right here. That'll be done in another day. Got it slow cooking for a couple days here. And that's going to make some awesome chicken broth. Alright, I am going to add the sweet potatoes into our celery and onions. And I'm going to add about half of the chicken broth that I have. Or maybe I'll add more. I guess I'll add enough to cover it. Get that nice and softened up more. And we'll let that cook a little bit longer. Okay, I took the pan off the stove, and now I'm just going to ladle some of this broth with the sauteed vegetables. And I'm not going to put too much in here. Whenever you're using an immersion blender or a blender, you really need to be careful as how much you add. You don't want to add too much of the hot because can really come out at you. If the celery isn't cooked enough, we may have to use a blender, regular blender, but we'll see. So we're just going to start. Just go up and down. And that's turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm not too worried about the celery not blending up well. So I'm just going to start putting all this into my pan. There might be some chunks in there, but that's all right. And once I get this all into here, I will add this squash that's already been cooked and my heavy whipping cream. Some up and down movement. You can still see a little bit of solid particles in there. Maybe you like your soup with a little bit of chunks in it. I'd like mine to be a little bit more creamier. Ooh, would you look how nice and golden that is? And that's just your sweet potato, onion, carrot, celery, and that apple we put in there. And we're going to add our squash that's already been cooked. Looks pretty much like the same thing. This is about 4 cups of squash. I don't know, I cook for an army, but we usually eat it. Well, we always eat it. And if I want, I can just refreeze it into soup containers. I'm going to add my 1 and it's almost 2 cups of heavy cream. Look how thick that is. Maybe I shouldn't add any cream. We will add about 1 cup. And then I'm going to sprinkle in some pepper. Some salt. And you can add your seasonings how you like. Maybe you want less, maybe you want more. I like flavor. I'm going to put some chili pepper in there. Yep, the cameraman's eyes are burning up already. He can't take that pepper. And some red pepper flakes. We have about, I think this is a 1/4 cup of brown sugar for sweetness. Actually, the apple should have took care of that. So you can omit that if you'd like. If I can get it out of there.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to use our zester grater. I've got some nutmeg here, and we're just going to grate it along the top. You don't want to use too much. That should be about good. And we will flavor or taste this later to see if it needs anything else, and we'll keep you guys posted. All right, I'm going to give this a little taste to see if I need to add any more nutmeg. Nice. I think I'm going to add a little bit more nutmeg. I may actually add some cinnamon or even clove. I'm going to add the rest of the cream and we'll get that heated up. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon and we will taste test to see if we need to add anything else. If you like your soup a little thinner, you could add some more chicken broth, or maybe you want to add some vegetable broth. Whatever you want to do is your way. Do it your way and make it yours. Looks great. Very good. I hope you give it a try. And like and subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching.
Glad it's over now. I can eat.